Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Brandon with Taylorsfiresmoke Cooking. We're back on the Blackstone today making some delicious steak fajitas. Let's go. All right, y'all. This is what we're going to be using for our fajitas, our beef fajitas. What we have here, this is called sirloin flap steak. Flap steak is really closely similar to a skirt steak, but not nearly as fatty. As you can see, it's really lean, but it is fibrous, similar to a skirt steak, so it's going to make for good fajitas. It actually makes a pretty good steak. This comes from the bottom of the sirloin. That's why it's called sirloin flap steak, and this is flat meat. A lot of times it's discarded, but they've recently started really using this a lot lately, so it's really, really good, guys, and it's going to make some fantastic fajitas. So we got that. We've got a orange bell pepper. We've got a red bell pepper. We've got a leftover green pepper and some red onion, a little white onion in there that we're going to use for our peppers. We've got some Uncle Steve's competition cow powder that we're going to use to season our steak with, as well as some Tone's 6-pepper blend. We're going to use a little minced garlic in there as well. And what we're going to do, we're going to season our meat. We're going to put it in the bowl along with a little olive oil, some of the minced garlic, and we're going to let it marinate for about an hour. So what we're going to take this competition cow powder, and we're going to go liberally over the meat. Now, if you don't have this, Uncle Steve's, you can use your favorite steak seasoning. You can use salt and pepper, and that'll work perfectly fine as well. And then I have the Tone's 6-pepper blend. That's because I want to have a little bit of a kick to it. Now, you don't have to use that if you don't want to or if you don't have it. But I do like to have a little bit of a kick to my fajitas. So we're going to go liberally one side, then we're going to come back with our Tone's 6-pepper blend. And we're going to go, liberally with that as well. Or as much as you like. This Tone's has a lot of nice spice to it, but it also has a nice flavor. So I really do enjoy using this on my fajitas. So let me go ahead and flip it, season up the other side, and I'll come right back in just a second, guys. All right, guys, we've got the other side seasoned up really well as well. So all we're going to do now, if you can see, nice and seasoned, we're just going to take it and we're going to add it to a stainless bowl. And what I want to do now, we're going to take a little bit of olive oil. Just put just a little bit of olive oil in there. You want to take, I have some white onion, and we're going to put that in the bowl as well. And then we're going to take about a tablespoon or so of minced garlic and put that in the bowl. And we're just going to take it and mix it up real well. We want a lot of flavor in this steak. Like I said, it's very lean, and it doesn't have the fat content of a normal skirt steak, so you want to add a little flavor in there and make sure when you do those fajitas, they're going to be right on the money. So that's what we got now, guys. Got it seasoned. Got our onion and garlic in there with a little olive oil, and we're just going to let this marinate in the fridge for about an hour. And then when it's done marinating, I'll pick back up. I'll decide whether or not I'm going to put on the grill the Blackstone. So we'll figure that out in the meantime. But give me an hour. I'm going to put this in the fridge, and I'll pick back up with you guys in a minute. All right, guys. I decided to go ahead and use my Blackstone. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start my peppers and onions first. It's actually going to take a little bit longer for the peppers to cook than the steak. The steak is really thin, and I'm trying to get a medium cook or doneness on that steak. So I didn't want to use, start it at the same time. So we're going to start our peppers and onions, and I'm just going to put them directly on the stone. I've got my Blackstone on high. So I'm going to just cook them, get them started and get them going till they're about medium ways done. Then when they get to that point, then I'm going to go ahead and add my steak. I did add a little salt to these peppers to help them get cooked. But other than that, this is the first step. So we're gonna start our peppers, let them roll, then we'll bring our steak out shortly. All right, guys, we've had these peppers going for about 7-8 minutes. Now I'm gonna move these peppers over to one side of the griddle, and I'm gonna turn it down to about medium. But before that, I did want to add I have some roasted garlic and herbs seasoning that I want to put on there. We already put a little bit of salt on them earlier. Now I'm just gonna take them, give them a good mix, and just move them to the side. Off of the direct fire, I do got some nice caramelization on there and some nice little griddle marks, which I was looking for. Move those to the side. Now we're gonna go ahead and put our steak on. Steak has been marinating for about an hour. It should have absorbed up all those flavors and everything that we put on there earlier. And what we're gonna do, it's not gonna take long for the steak to cook. Like I said, one, is very thin, and two, we're not trying to cook it to well done. I wanna cook this to a nice medium. So we're just gonna lay it on here. Still have the Blackstone on high. And we're gonna let it do its thing. Hear that sizzle? When I tell you it smells fantastic, woo! Onions on top. And we're just gonna let it do its thing. Let it go on each side for maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Then we're gonna pull the steak, let it rest and cut it up, and we're gonna have our fajitas. So I'll check back with you guys in a few minutes, guys. All right, guys, we've gone 4 minutes on each side, or this side. Now we're gonna go ahead and flip and let it do its thing again on the next side. It's cooking well. I would love for it to have a little bit more of a char on it, but it's a little windy out today, so it's making it a little harder for it to stay as hot as I would like. But it's cooking pretty good and it smells amazing. So we're gonna keep on letting it go, and we're gonna let it rock on this side for another 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll bring you back when it's time to pull it. All right, guys, we've had it running for another 5 minutes. Now it's time to pull our steak and our peppers. Gonna go ahead on and pull our peppers off first. They look delicious. They have a nice little char to them. Go ahead and get those onions too. Add in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull our steak on off of here. All right, guys. What I'm gonna do, I did bring out a few little shrimp. My son wanted shrimp fajitas, so I'm gonna go ahead and just whip up a couple shrimp for him. I seasoned my shrimp up with some Riley's Cajun seasoning and some of that Tone 6 pepper blend. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna add a little bit of oil down again. And I don't have very many shrimp, just a few for him. And we're just gonna put our shrimp down. And we're gonna let those go for a few minutes. These are already cooked, so I'm not gonna go long. I'm just gonna heat them up. So I won't be long with those at all, but when I pull them or flip them, I'll bring you guys back and you can see that as well. See you guys back here. All right, guys, there are our shrimp. They're done. All right, guys, I've got my steak off the Blackstone. I've let it rest a bit. If you can see, the grain runs this way. So what you want to make sure you do, you cut against that grain. You cut with the grain. It's going to be kind of chewy and not as easy to eat. So you just want to cut against that grain. And you can see that we've got a nice medium. That's exactly what we were looking for. That looks perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just continue to get this steak cut up. And then we'll go ahead and make a few fajitas, and you can see how my plate looks. Simple, guys. Simple, simple, simple. Again, this was sirloin flat meat. Very tender if you cook it right. Very similar to, like I say, a skirt steak. And you can see that that's perfect. Perfect. So let me finish getting it cut up and I'll bring you guys back in when it's time to plate up, guys. We're gonna plate up. I'm just gonna put the meat and everything on your plate like you would almost get out of a restaurant, to where you just kind of build it up yourself. So I'm gonna put some of that steak right down here. Like I said, the steak is fantastic. I tried it on its own and it's phenomenal. Some of those grilled peppers and onions. I actually wound up doing a few shrimp as well for my son, so we're going to lay down a couple shrimp so we can have a shrimp fajita. Out the way. A little bit of lettuce, which sometimes you have it on fajitas, sometimes you don't. And a couple tomatoes. And I'm going to use some green salsa, some tomatillo salsa. And that's my dinner for tonight, guys. Steak and shrimp fajitas. Can't beat it. Make sure you like the video, share it if you can. Subscribe if you're already not a subscriber. I appreciate you guys watching. Until the next time, guys. There you have it.